Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well. My name is Rob and we're doing a little series this week on the names of God, and I'm doing this little video tonight with the assistance of my youngest daughter Marley. So I hope you enjoyed her little bit of camera montage at the beginning. And we're talking about names, and I suppose names are really important, aren't they? If you've spent many weeks or months expecting a child and trying to think up a name for a boy or a name for a girl, then you'll know that names are really important. And I guess we come from a family that have some unusual names. My wife is, she's called Annemieke, which is a Dutch name, and it's really common in Holland, but not that common over here. Misha, our eldest daughter, slightly uncommon, kind of English-Dutch, kind of Russian name. And then we named our youngest girl Marley. And of course, the film Marley and Me came out just after Marley was born, so she thinks she's named after a dog, which is not true at all. Okay, so I want to particularly focus on the I Am name of God. Now, if you've seen the videos earlier in the week, particularly one that Alice did, you'll know she did a great job of telling us where that I Am name originated from. And it's right back in the book of Exodus in chapter 3 in the Old Testament, where God and Moses are gathered together around a burning bush. And God says to Moses, "My name is I Am." It's the name Yahweh. It's the name that gets replaced by the name Lord later on in the scriptures. But I want us to jump forward to the New Testament and to John's Gospel. And in John's Gospel, he records 7 or 8 I Am sayings that Jesus used of himself when talking about his divinity. And Jesus said things like, "I am the bread of life." Bread. And he said, "I am the true vine." We don't have any vines, but we do have some wine, so that I have to do. But Jesus says things like, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life. I'm the good shepherd. I am the light of the world." And often when Jesus said these things, they were accompanied by an event or by a miracle. So when Jesus says, "I am the bread of life," he's just fed 5,000 people with bread and with fish. And when Jesus says, "I am the light of the world," he's just healed or about to heal a man with blindness who moves, I guess, from a dark world to a light world. And when Jesus says, "I am the resurrection and the life," he then goes and brings Lazarus from the dead out of the tomb. And so these sayings are not just simply nice sayings, but they are signs of Jesus' divinity and power. And then there's this part in John chapter 8 where Jesus is in a confrontation with the Jewish authorities, and he says something along these lines. He says, "Before Abraham, I am." And the reaction of the authorities and the people around him is to pick up stones to kill him. And it's extraordinary to our ears in the 21st century, but it's because this name, I Am, takes you right back to Exodus chapter 3, where God reveals his name to Moses. And then the last bit to focus on is in John chapter 18, I think it is, where Jesus is about to be arrested. And the Roman soldiers are looking for him, and Jesus says to them, "Who are you looking for?" And the Roman soldiers say, "We're looking for Jesus." And Jesus says, "I am he." And as Jesus says these words, there's a reaction that's quite unusual, quite strange when you read it. But it says that the Roman soldiers withdrew, they fell back, as if in worship at the name I Am. And such is the power of that name, such is the experience that these people in worship, and they fall back and they're almost dead because Jesus uses this name. I encourage you to go and read those I Am sayings of Jesus, and in particular the I Am bit where Jesus reveals his name to the Roman soldiers in John chapter 18. But there's great power in the name I Am, in the name Yahweh, in the name Lord. Hope this has been helpful, and see you soon. Thanks.